January 1st today. I hope you are having a great start to the new year. I am just easing into the day today, trying to figure out what needs to be done so that I can enjoy the rest of the day. I still feel like I'm in vacation mode. I love the week in between Christmas and New Year's. It's all a blur. I don't even know what day it is. I think it's Friday, but I've been really enjoying it. And I took all of my Christmas decorations down. I know it's early for some people, but I really like taking them down before the 1st of January. It just makes me feel ready for the new year. And I really enjoy cleaning it all up. I loved having it up, but we did have it up for about a month, maybe more. So I was ready for everything to come down. And because this is kind of a weird week, I didn't do my usual cleaning on Monday. I've been tidying up and cleaning here and there, but I'm starting to feel like the house really needs it. But I'm gonna push on. I am not going to do that big cleanup until Monday. I'm gonna try and enjoy the rest of this week. We are just gonna stay home, of course, and have a really nice dinner tonight. I'm going to make roast beef and Yorkshire puddings. I'm probably going to make something for dessert. I don't know what yet, but I'm kind of in that in-between feeling of I want to make stuff and get back in the kitchen, but I'm also a little burnt out from the holidays. I'm sure a lot of you are feeling the same. But I wanted to share a few things with you today. I have some knitting that I've been doing, and I've set up my planner for the new year. And I've even picked my one little word of the year, which I've been doing for a really long time. It took me a while to pick this one. I didn't really start thinking about it until Christmas. And I just settled on my word last night or yesterday afternoon. So I will share that with you. And I will just share a few things with you today in between my laundry. I don't know if you can, no, you can't see it, but I've got baskets of laundry over there to get going. I might put the robot vacuum on and get all of the little things sorted and out of the way so that I can enjoy the rest of this day. I'm so glad to have the furniture back where it belongs after taking the tree down and all of the decorations. Everything is in its place. And here's the laundry that needs to go downstairs. Camden just took another basket down for me. And I'm really happy to finally have a bit of my dining room space back again. This is the catch-all area for all of our Christmas stuff. It's where the advent calendars were, all the Christmas chocolates and treats people would send over, the extra dishes, just all of the stuff that we didn't have a home for ended up in here. We don't have a huge kitchen, we don't have a huge home, and so this is kind of, I've noticed this is our catch-all space. So I spent some time right after Christmas cleaning it up. There's still a few things that need to get moved around, like that big basket of treats that everyone is just working their way through. But if you guys will remember, last year, right after Christmas, I got this cabinet that's along the wall. I love it. It's just been so useful. And it's had a few different uses. When I got it, I used one of the drawers and part of the cabinet for a lot of my art supplies and journaling things. This was kind of a space that I really enjoyed using because my art studio or sewing studio upstairs is really just that. It's kind of a sewing studio, and it's where I do my work. And so it doesn't really work for me to do more creative things like art journaling. So this became my little space, my little haven, and I loved it. If you'll notice, I did move the table back again because I had switched the position of it sometime last year as well. And for some reason, after a few months, it just wasn't working for me. It wasn't comfortable. I don't know what it was. It could have just been the position of the table, but I have not been using it. And so then eventually I moved all of my art supplies out of here. I brought them upstairs. I had baskets and bags, and I've been trying different areas of the house to work in, but nothing has really clicked. And so I moved this table back the other day, and it just made me think how much I used to love sitting in here quietly in the morning with my coffee and opening up my Hobonichi and doing what I had to do. So instead of bringing everything back again and loading up that cabinet with art supplies, which just doesn't work because I have some kitchen and dining things in there, I decided to bring back a cart. I had to get a new one because all of my other ones are being used. And I got this one at Michael's. I just did a curbside pickup because it's really easy, and I couldn't get to IKEA right now. It's closed. But these are the carts that IKEA has and Michael's and Amazon, so you can probably find them anywhere. I love this really pretty rose gold color, and it's not really organized just yet. I tried to keep it neat, but I really want to see what I reach for before I set it up perfectly, because the more stuff I keep at hand, I think it sort of hinders me, and I just want to make sure that this is just the bare essentials for just having quiet mornings to put a few things on some pages in my Hobonichi. And so a lot of the stuff on the top were things that were in that portable bag that I had shared during Vlogmas, along with some of my pen pouches and my pencil case, stamps, so my little printers here and some stamps. So this is kind of what was in my on-the-go bag. Down here, I just have a few extras that I do reach for quite often. There's a few things back here that I don't normally carry around, but I thought would be handy. Some washi tapes. And then on the bottom, I have more pouches, more art supplies in all of these pouches, another artist roll, and I'm just going to see how it goes and what I use, and then I might clean it up a bit. So this is my new spot again, and I'm really happy with it. I sat here in the last day or so. I did some journaling, and it just feels, it's so weird. I think it's actually just the actual seat and the position of the table that made a difference to me. I just didn't feel comfortable sitting where I was sitting before. I think that's so strange, but it is what it is. And so I've got my Christmas notebook here that I did a little bit of updating in yesterday, and my new Hobonichi for 2021. And I thought I would share a little peek of what I have done in both of them. This is the Christmas notebook that I shared during Vlogmas. I picked up a new one this year because I usually just keep notes on loose paper or even in a soft cover notebook, and then I end up losing it or tossing it, and I thought it would be nice to keep a record of Christmas stuff in one spot. So I will take this out each year and add to it. I won't go through everything, but this is a Rifle Paper Company notebook. I purchased it through Chapters Indigo. And I'll just show you what I've added. I put in a photo of our Christmas tree here. I do notice that when I film Vlogmas, I really forget to take photos, and so that's kind of something missing from our December, but that's okay. I just added in some washi tape here. I put in a recipe that was from the back of the label on the sweetened condensed milk for magic bars that I made. And I know I can get that anywhere, but I just thought it would be nice to put it in there. I didn't really change anything here. I added a photo of the dessert that I made for Christmas Day, more washi tape. I put a bunch of photos here, and the reason is I wanted to add a list of things to note for next year, because you know how you can always make observations in the moment, but you know you're going to forget. So that's what I did. And when I did that, I didn't realize I skipped a page. So I went back afterwards and just printed a few photos, and I think it's really nice. This way it kind of jogs my memory, and It just adds a little bit of something to the notebook. So what I put in here in my list, for me, was very important to remember. So I just made notes to myself to make my lasagna ahead of time and freeze it instead of doing it on Christmas Eve morning. I didn't really bake my panettone long enough. I think I messed up the timer using Amazon, and so it wasn't quite brown enough. I also noted that even though our dessert was really good, even though this was really good, we have so many treats and so much food that I notice not everyone is really a dessert person. And instead of making a dessert on Christmas Day, I thought, why not buy something? I can buy anything, but even a bûche de Noël would be really nice. So I just made a note for that and some of the other things I could do ahead of time. I ended up taking that really sweet card from the Christmas card that Cherie sent me, and it had this beautiful artwork and recipe for fudge, which I did not make this year, but I didn't want to lose it, and so I popped it in here for next year, and then that way it's always like a nice memory too. And then over here I just put what the boys got for the most part, so that if I ever need a comparison or want to look back, I will have that. So that is it. I'm going to tuck this one away. Next year I will put all of the same stuff that I need and use it for all of my lists. But I really love this, and I'm really happy that I got this really beautiful book for it. This is my Hobonichi A5 cousin that I will be using in 2021. I did share this in an episode of Vlogmas along with my traveler's notebook and some of my favorite supplies that I use regularly, along with the sources to where I purchase most of them. I can't remember what day it was, and I will put some of the links in the description box below again, but it can be a little tricky finding Hobonichi covers and inserts at this time of year. They do sell out because they initially go on sale, I think, is it September? I'm not sure. September and then mid-fall. But if you are really on the hunt, you can check the Hobonichi website and see if they are restocking anything that has sold out, and just check some of the links below. So this is the main cover that I am using for 2021. I absolutely love it. It's a Hobonichi cover. It is fabric, and it has these beautiful embroidered flowers with a zip around, and I'm completely in love with it. So I spent a little bit of time setting it up yesterday with my new insert. This is the Hobonichi A5 Cousin Avec. The Avec is the book that comes for the year in 2 books. So you can order one that's a lot thicker, or you can get the version that has, I think it's January to June, and then July to December. And I like to do the Avec because it can get quite thick and kind of cumbersome and heavy if you have just the one book and you use a lot of photos or tip-ins and extra papers and things, and sometimes I do. So I've been enjoying it in split into the 2 books for the year. This cover has tons of pockets, which I love. There's lots of space to put things. I've got cute little note that was included in one of my last orders from Paper Plus Cloth. It's so beautiful. I've got some stickers, stencils, sticky notes, and some washi tapes on a card. And I spent some time yesterday covering the front and back of this book. I know you can't see the back, but I was really enjoying it and pulling out beautiful papers and tears from magazines, and some of the collage sheets that I get from the Little Raven Ink Patreon, which is Courtney Diaz. I love her collage sheets. I've been a patron of hers for a few years now, and I just really enjoyed covering the front and back. I haven't done much with my monthly spreads yet. I don't really decorate them very much. It's sort of just a really quick at a glance, like what's going on for the month. I started a weekly spread for this week with some Christmas washi tape and a few notes about what was going on. And I just started the initial part of decorating my week for next week. Haven't really done much, but I loved this beautiful washi tape and I wanted to use it. Right before the daily pages start in the Hobonichi is a blank 2-page spread that I like to use for an inspiration board for the new year. It actually says here, turning the page to a new year. So I found a lot more beautiful papers and bits and pieces that were so pretty, along with some more collage sheets from Courtney. These are from Courtney. These two, I believe, are from Pocket Journal Pam. This one says, stay creative. So it's just little reminders, and this quote I thought was really important for this year to me. The only way out is through, and I think we are not quite done with what 2020 handed us, and so I think that's a great quote for the new year. And it's also where I like to document my one little word for the year. So this year my word is capture. This is a thing that I've been doing since 2013, and it's totally inspired by Ali Edwards. I've talked about her before, but she has a great website with blog posts about it and an Instagram hashtag, and it's where you choose a guiding word for the year instead of a New Year's resolution, instead of making ridiculous goals for yourself. It's just a way to focus on something that is meaningful to you. And so after doing quite a bit of thought about my word and the year that we've had and the year ahead, I know I focus a lot on productivity and priorities, but I never want that to be confused with being busy and overworking and just accomplishing more. Because I've always had a problem with how hard we all work, and it's been a challenge that I've been dealing with since I was in the corporate fashion world and raising a family, and it's part of why I think about it so much now, because I really want to capture the moments that we have. And so instead of focusing on how I can accomplish more each day and how much more I can do and adding more to the to-do list, I really want to focus this year on capturing those pockets of time and making the most of them. And so, of course, there's stuff that needs to be done. There's work, there's a house to run, there's always cleaning to do and cooking and all of that stuff. But I really want to make it my intention to capture the moments each day that are important. Of course, get the stuff done that needs to get done, but also be able to balance that with enjoying life. And I think if 2020 has taught us anything, it has really taught us that our society works really, really hard. There's a lot of burnout, there's a lot of exhaustion, there's a lot of go. And I really am trying to capture as much as I can in the moment. So I'm really excited about my word this year. I don't always love the word that I choose, and there are some that have really resonated with me more than others. One of them that has meant so much to me and was just the perfect word for the year was wonder. That was a really good one. And give was also a really good one. I remember 2017 was kind of a tough year for me, and it was filled with exhaustion and stress. And so I kind of turned that into searching for how I could give more of myself to people instead of feeling all of that stress. And so that really worked for me. Another one that I have heard a lot about this year that people are choosing is joy, and I think that is such a fabulous one. I was really tempted to use it, especially because my theme for Vlogmas in December was comfort and joy, and I think that's a great one if you are looking for a word. And I know that Elise, I'm not sure what her Instagram handle is, but Elise Joy, who has the Get to Work book, she actually had an Instagram live with Ali Edwards yesterday, and they talk a bit about their words. So if you go to her Instagram account, you can watch that too. So that is my inspiration for 2021. This is going to be my guiding word for the year, and I'm looking at it in as many ways as I possibly can. And I just started for, actually it's today, so I did this yesterday, but I just started setting up my page for today so that I could document a few of the things that I am doing during this really wonderful week between Christmas and New Year's, and maybe document a little bit or journal for today. I might decorate some pages a little bit ahead, but this is how I use my Hobonichi. I really enjoy it. Like I said, I will put a bunch of links to some of my favorite places to get stamps and stickers and washi tapes and things like that in the description box below. And if you have chosen a word for 2021, I would love for you to share it with me in the comments. I love hearing the words that different people are choosing, and it's one of the reasons why I made this list, so that I could look back and think about them. And yeah, I hope you guys, if you've chosen a word, I hope you're happy with it and it helps guide you through the new year. Time for a little bit of a knitting update. I've had lots of knitting time this week. It has been so nice to just work on these two projects that I am enjoying so very much. And I can't remember where I was when I ended Vlogmas. I know I've shared a bit on Instagram, but this whole week has been a blur, so I thought I would just share again. I have been working on my Cozy Knitter Advent socks and loving them. They're one of my favorite things to work on during December. I don't know what it is about them. Well, they're beautiful, first of all. But there's just something about them, whether you knit a stripe a day or just do it in sections, which is how I did it this year. I love them. So I'm just about finished the first sock. I'm at the point where I just need to Kitchener stitch the toe closed. And I am trying a new to me heel. It is a pattern that I saw on the Ollie and Bella podcast that Cherie had made. And it was so interesting to me. I had never seen a heel like this. The pattern is called the Magic Heel Socks. It is by Judy from the Autumn Acorn. And Cherie's pair of socks looked so beautiful. I was so intrigued. And after having a little bit of a fumble with my traditional heel on this particular sock, for whatever reason, I think it was just the exhaustion of December, I decided to give it a try, and I am so happy that I did. It is so much fun to knit. There's really no stopping for the heel flap and readjusting your concentration. You don't take anything off the needles or work on different needles. It's just a super easy, mindless knit, and I really enjoy it. So you can see it is stockinette all the way down the front, and there's a rib pattern or portion for your heel. And I am on the heel section of the second sock, and it's really just flying. It is such good TV knitting or movie knitting. I really love it. I am so excited to have this in my repertoire now, so that if I don't feel like doing a traditional heel flap, I have this as an alternative. I think it's going to fit great. I've tried on this sock, and it really hugs my foot well, so I'm excited about it. I'm really loving it. The other project that I have been working on and loving is the Land of Sweets cowl, which is a pattern by Helen Stewart. And I think I started this quite late in Vlogmas, but it is turning out so beautifully. I am using all of my Advent minis from the Chelsea Luxe Advent Calendar, which I opened throughout December. It's the Cozy Cabin Advent Calendar, and the colors are working up a dream. I'm in love. At first I thought I might be arranging the colors in a way that I wanted, but I'm actually just doing day 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got them all lined up by day, and I've got the rest of them upstairs that I still need to wind, but I'm really enjoying this. I think it's going to make the most beautiful cowl, and I really think I'm a cowl person. I love cowls. They're fun projects. They're not massive like a shawl. And I've been enjoying it so much. So I just wanted to share my progress on that. I've kind of put this aside just so that I can finish these off because I've been on a roll. But I can tell that this one is just going to keep me going through January. It is such a fun pattern. Each section of the pattern is an Advent mini and it changes. So it's really pretty. I think I'm going to, after this pink section, there's a bit of a textured section which looks really nice also. So that is my knitting update. My Felix, of course, is off the needles and blocked, so I am thinking about which sweater I will cast on next, but I really want to make some progress on these. I'm going to definitely finish these socks first, make quite a bit of progress on my cowl, and then decide which sweater I'm going to cast on for 2021. And I thought it was really interesting when I did my top 9 posts on Instagram, and it pulled all of the most liked photos from the last year. I realized that I actually made 3 sweaters last year. I had no idea. I know I started one of them the previous year and I just finished it in the new year, but I made the Weekender by Andrea Mowry. I made the Ranunculus sweater, which is the short sleeve version, and then I just finished the Felix. So I was really impressed. I couldn't believe it, and I'm excited to think about my sweater knitting for the next year too. Soccer game is on in the background. It is very intense. It's a good game though. My roast beef is in the oven. My Yorkshire pudding batter is chilling in the fridge. And I wanted to share one last thing with you before I wrap up today's vlog. It's kind of a favorite thing. I know I shared some lip products during Vlogmas. I get asked a lot about what I use, and the Fit Glow Beauty lip glosses I shared earlier this month or last month, and I decided to treat myself to a couple more. They were on sale after Christmas, so I got 2 more colors. They are just a lip gloss. They're very, very light. They don't have a lot of color. There's a little bit of shimmer. I ordered the colors Gleam and Rosé, and I think Gleam is my favorite. It's really pretty. And I love them. They are not inexpensive, but I think they're really worth it because they also really moisturize your lips, which is great. And don't mind my Band-Aid here because I made Orange Julius smoothies for everyone. And Glenn was annoyed that his was, I guess, too chunky. The ice, I didn't blend it enough. And he's so impatient that he decided to submerge his mason jar with the smoothie in it into a sink of really hot water, and the bottom of his mason jar just cracked right out of it and broke. But he left the broken glass in the sink, and when I went to go and unplug the sink, I sliced my hand. Not very badly, but that's Glenn. So I just wanted to leave it on that, something fun, a little favorite to share with you guys. And I think I'm going to check on my roast, have dinner, have a really nice bubble bath tonight, and sit and knit. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful start to the new year, and I will see you again soon.